It is I, Menace Snowdecker. Welcome back to another YouTube video of BeyBlade Land, where we build Beyblades in Minecraft. And we are working right now on Sword Dran. I'm gonna apologize first before I start building again. I was supposed to have this video up last week, but I got busy and I completely forgot about recording it in the first place. So, I do apologize to everyone. I am sorry. I should have had that done beforehand. Anyways. Also, while I was out and about looking for Beyblades in person, shopping online, etc., I managed to find an actual blue Sword Dran. So I'm not using multicolored parts now. I thought that would help me to make it easier to identify each piece, but all I did was confuse the heck out of me and make it harder. I kept having to reference the pics online, and that did not help me too much. So now I actually do have a full, proper color scheme. And before I do anything, I need to fix this. I need to fix this framework. I thought it was fine. Sadly, I was horribly wrong. I need this to be bigger before I continue. Do not take that out of context. If you take that out of context, shame on you. I mean, I thought I did a good job getting the size ratio correct, despite literally being here in Minecraft. Sadly, I was horribly wrong, because when I went to put the actual 3 prongs for the 3... What is it, 360 or was it 380? You know what, doesn't matter. Point is, I got it wrong. And I need to fix this before I continue, because I had all these sizes wrong. That still don't look right. Maybe just delete that one for right now. Delete the extras. This is the problem with building larger things in Minecraft, alright? It really is. It's a hassle. Because you gotta get the sizes right. If you don't, you throw yourself off. And it is super confusing when you do. Secondly, although that did look right, I'm actually going to move this inward. I mean, I thought it looked fine, but now, not so much. So I'm going to move that inward. And then I'm just going to put this around that, and that'll just be our screw. I mean, it looks okay until you actually go out, and then you just realize it's really tiny. Doesn't make a lot of sense for a screw. Once I fix that, that should be okay. I'll worry about the rest of the 3 later. For now, I just want to get the actual bay itself done. So what I'm going to do here is I am actually going to change gears a little bit. I was trying to build around the edges and then work my way in, but then I realized, okay, that was actually a stupid decision on my part. Because I kept thinking about this. It bothered me why I was struggling so much. It really did bother me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to completely change gears. Instead of working on the outside like I originally planned, I'm actually going to work on the face bolt first. Once I get a decent size for the base... Sorry, mispronounced. For the face bolt, then I'll slowly work my way out, focusing on the metal portions one by one, until I am satisfied with this build. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to skip the Hasbro label, because honestly, we're not going to really see the scannable piece. It's going to be inside. You're not really going to see it at all. And while we're at it, I'm also going to skip the underside of the facebolt. Because again, you're not going to see that, and it's Minecraft. It's going to be really difficult to recreate that. Whoops. Misclicked. Don't judge me. I haven't been on Minecraft in a really good while. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got? Three sections go around. So if I measure that up with this, that is a big face bolt. Okay. How am I going to recreate that? Oh my gosh, that's going to be large. Way too large. Oh my gosh. If I'm looking at these dimensions correctly, it's going to be about the size of where the screws are. That is a large face bolt. That's actually somewhat horrifying to think about. Okay, so it doesn't completely go where the screws are, but it does go to the edges of the screws themselves, and then it slowly wraps around. That is horrifying. That is a big bolt. Okay, and then the rest of this becomes blue glass, looks like. You know what? Why am I even bothering with this? I can just go ahead and pause this and be done here in a second. The power of editing. Be right back. And I'm back. Okay, that step is done now. I just went ahead and I filled all that in with the dark blue stained glass. I refer to the light blue as light blue and the other one's dark blue, even though it's just blue. I know it's just blue, but I say dark blue because it's honestly darker in hue. So, that's just me. Anyway, I used the blue stained glass, dark blue, doesn't matter. Because if I look at this correctly, the rest of this layering here, it just literally just wraps around the white frame piece when you go to put it on. So that pretty much just comes from the top layer. And honestly, there's not really that much gapping inside here when I actually do look at it. So it just makes more sense to just fill it all in at this point. Alright, so next up on this list, let's go ahead and start on the face bolt. Before I do, I need to decide which side is going to face. Yes, this is a key decision I need to make here, because these face bolts quite literally rotate with the layer. The layer moves, so wherever I got the layer, I need to build that upon the actual face bolt itself. So I need to decide that before I make any sudden moves here. Okay, so if those are the angles on which I chose, then that would mean... I should be able to work with that. Yeah, I can work with that. I can work with that. Okay. So, this way. This will be the bottom, that'll be the top. I'm building it from the ground up here, so I need to choose carefully what it is that I actually end up doing. Get those out of here so I can actually look closely at everything. Make sure I'm getting all this correct. Okay. So if the white piece sits on the bottom, then I need to bring this up another level. Unfortunately. Because there's a whole layer of blue right underneath here. I gotta cover this whole floor. BRB again! Lot of building. A lot of building. Stop it. The cord from my mouse was pressing against the camera, and that in turn was pushing the mouse away, because the camera is heavier than the mouse. And that was making my screen move. Sorry. Okay, so if that's the part I'm facing... Okay. Okay, so let's start off with a nice big circle. I gotta make sure I'm lining this up correctly, because if I do this wrong, even by a single block, it will throw off every single bit of measurement. 5, 6. I still need some more of the blue glass on here, so I am a little bit off there. Just for right now, though. But I'll worry about that later, because right now I just want to focus on this face bolt. Okay, so if that's the edges... what design would look the most circular? That's the big question. That, perhaps? A 2-2-1-2-2? Maybe? Yeah? Let's just see how that looks, and then we'll adjust it from there. If we have to. Wait, what do I mean? What do I mean we? No, I mean I. I will adjust it from there. I'm the one doing the building here. Do not question me. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just gonna do that. I mean, nobody's gonna see it on the inside, so it's fine. Okay, let's take a look here. Fine, I guess we are going for a slightly more accurate build. Fine, I'll just do that. There, close enough. At least for now. Okay, so that wraps around. Actually, yeah, that actually does line up with a lot of the build work in here. I'm amazed it goes that far out. That's actually shocking. If I'm looking at these gaps correctly, the very edge of this white framework around here, that's where the edge of the actual face bolt goes. And then it just barely overlaps with the screws, so that actually is accurate. It's kind of surprising that it's actually that big of a piece in there, that it's actually that wide. That's kind of frightening to think about, but also kind of cool. Okay, so now we just got to get the design laid out here. So we got the circle. It builds up just slightly, but not too much. So let's just go ahead and add a whole nother layer. That way I actually do have more space to work with, and it does line up slightly more with how thick the bolt actually is. Something I've noticed with the face bolts for BeyBlade X, some of them rotate and some of them don't. Some of them are stationary and completely hollow, like on Buster Dran, for example. That one doesn't rotate at all. But then you go to like Sword Dran or Dagger Dran, and it actually does rotate, and I find that very fascinating. It's a very interesting concept, just to even see or even think about. Okay. So if I'm understanding this design work correctly, what they did was they put a sticker underneath the actual top piece, and then they put like a see-through white plastic on top. So our actual design work is going to go just underneath here, and it's all going to be one solid color with just a sticker on top. So let's just go ahead and just fill this all in so I don't get confused. And I don't make any more mistakes here. What do you know? That actually does line up rather perfectly, right there in the middle. I just heard one of those creepy sounds in the Minecraft background. Oh, even in the flat worlds, I can't escape those sounds. Yeah, funny story, I tried making a haunted map in Minecraft once upon a time, but it was on an actually good world. I don't know what happened, but when I chose a certain name, I don't remember what name it was I picked. But I picked a name, and somehow after that, the whole map was cursed. I wasn't picking off of any cursed maps any famous people were using or trying to make. I picked one and I ran with it. And somehow I picked one that caused all these weird sounds in the background. Like, every time you went down inside of a cave, there was some horrifying sound in there that just terrified everyone. And even I couldn't explain it. And at first we thought it was just going to be in the caves, but then after a while it started surfacing on the main world as well. You couldn't even go to your bedroom in Minecraft without hearing one of those sounds. It was terrifying. So that lines up there. And then... Okay, I think I have a good layout here. Something I'm noticing here is that there's 3 metal prongs that just barely overlaps the layer. And it starts right here at the corners. So about there... I'm gonna say... there? Hope I'm right. I don't want to adjust this afterward. I have to adjust it. Okay, I was off. I was off by roughly 2 spaces. I was close. Wasn't exact, but I was close. And what I'm seeing here is that there's actually decal work within the sticker that actually lines up with these prongs. That seems accurate. I can work with that. So what I'm noticing here is that there's like a little word around the edge of where Buster is, Mr. Dran himself. Dagger, sword, Buster. It doesn't matter what word I picked there. All of them are still Dran in the end. So you see the word BeyBlade outside of his face. The lines around where that word is actually line up with these prongs in a certain manner. So this one lines up with that one all the way down there. This one here gets skipped, but then this one lines up with that one. So if I'm reading this correctly, somewhere around... Oh no, that's much farther than I thought it was. Or am I off by one? Hang on. Oh no, I'm off. I did the measuring wrong. It's actually going to be there. I was building straight across, and I forgot I'm doing a circular build, so that's not going to cut it here. You would think it would, but it does not. Okay, that goes in approximately 2 spaces, I'm going to say. So let's just go ahead and build 2 in here all the way around. And then I noticed that it also goes slightly inward because of the circular design. So actually, that part's fine now. We can just go ahead and leave that. I would like to try to fit the word BeyBlade in there, but I know I'm not going to at all. I'm not going to be able to fit that whatsoever. Unfortunately. Alright, so now we got to build Dran himself. This is going to be a bit tricky, if I'm being honest. Because I got to get a perfect decal work. You know what? I might actually have to branch this off into 3 episodes. Maybe even 4. I was aiming for 1, and then I couldn't do that. And now that I'm thinking about it realistically, because of all the intricate design work in here, it's going to take me a little bit longer than I originally intended. Because I'm realizing just how much detail goes into this little design now. It's funny how something so small can be so intricate and so advanced at the same time. It's fascinating. But let's just go and start with the basics here. So I got to add a white line around this. And I'm going to have to trim that down slightly later because some of this does get overlapped by Dran himself. The flames around his mouth, one of his horns goes over it. That does not look right. Tad better. But that should be a bit more angled. There we go. That's better. It's not perfect, but that is better. Okay, so there's a white line going across here, but it doesn't go all the way across. It just goes part way past that point, and then it goes slightly upward as well. So let's just go ahead and do that. That seems accurate. And now we add in arrows. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about doing that. It's basically impossible to build an arrow on a flat surface in Minecraft. However, I can be creative with how I signal that these are in fact arrows. So I'm using smooth quartz. So that's what I'm going to use here. I'm going to use some more smooth quartz. And then there's also this line work spacing as well that goes around, actually all the way to the edge. So these arrows, there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Spanning just around the corner there. And then there's all this line work that goes almost all the way to the edge, right about here. When I build in Minecraft, I really try to do things justice with how I build them. Because I am a master builder. I try to put in as much effort as I possibly can that I know I can put in. Okay, and the rest of that becomes black around the corners. The main colors I need here right now is a light blue, preferably a cyan, or something close to it like a sky blue. I need white, I need black, I need yellow, a touch of orange, and that pretty much makes up the color scheme for this entire face bolt. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this episode. I'm going to focus on the face bolt, get that done. And then for the next one, I'll try building the rest of the sword itself. I mean, it's looking more and more like an actual BeyBlade. It really is. It's not done yet, obviously, but it is looking more and more like one. And knowing that does make me happy. I really want to get these details right. I really do. And the more time I spend on it, the better. Because I'm not rushing through it like some of my other projects, which just turned out horrible in the end when I did that. Okay, as I thought, right here at the edge, about here, the line work gets cut off to make room for Buster's face. However, it's a slightly different blue than the light blue, so I need something a tad darker. So I'm going to use the cyan. I'm hoping that that looks okay when I'm done. Not the exact color. Well, it does match a few of the shades, not completely, but... Hang on, I need more light. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting every single detail here. Well, that's also fascinating. It's impossible to see with the naked eye, but now that I have all the lighting here, there's a few little plastic mold dots underneath the plastic frame that covers the actual face bolt. I'll skip that for the build. But that is fascinating. I had no idea that was even there. Okay, so the jaw overlaps there. And only the chin, the very chin of the dragon itself, overlaps at the bottom. And then it builds up slightly with 2 teeth here at the bottom. And then a good chunk of his jaw as well. That's fascinating. 2 teeth becomes 5. I don't know how that works, but 2 teeth becomes 5 here in just a moment. Wait, nope, I did that wrong. Too far. Okay, there we go. So, let's see here. Most confusing build, indeed. How does 2 teeth become 5? Shouldn't it become 3? Oh, I got my work cut out for me. Okay, so these other ones go upward. Okay, that helps me. I'm not worrying about space now, because I understand that. Okay, there's flames coming out of his mouth. And then it looks like the teeth overlap right in there. With what looks like 6 teeth up here. Is that? Yeah, no, that's right. That is right. 6 teeth. So 2. Those 2 become part of that one. And then these go up and additional ones there and there. I'm not going to be able to add all the teeth in here. I would love to, but I don't have the space for it. I need to prioritize getting as much of this design. Another creepy sound. As I possibly can. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now his bottom jaw's done. I know the rain's bothering everybody. I'm sorry. It doesn't bother me. This is how I built for years. Whether it's snowing or raining, I always build. I don't stop. I do not stop. I just keep going. Okay, so the end of his nose is right about there. That part becomes... Actually, the rest of that becomes dark. That's fascinating. Goes down a hair and then up. But it doesn't touch there. It only goes about there. Almost like a little lightning bolt. And the rest of that becomes black. Black as the night sky itself. And now I'm going to need some orange, so let's go ahead and get that out. Because the very end of this turns into like an actual fire. It's starting to take shape, but not fully just yet. Okay, so the flames do go over that area. That is good to know. It starts off right about... Actually, right in here. And then it just barely goes over to the middle section. About there. Actually... Oh no, it goes over farther. Closer to the prong itself. So we need to go 2 more spaces over. Nope, wrong one. Alright, there we go. And then it slowly comes back down till it touches there. Okay, so that's right. It goes back up here, and then it goes back down, where there's another piece of fire right there. And then there's just black spacing in between. And another thing I'm noticing here, this part also curves inward, which means I just did that wrong. So it curves down and then goes up. Yeah, something like that. There's a little bit too much yellow here, though. I think I'm off by a little bit. Oh, I didn't account for the curvature. Okay, that's why. Yeah, that looks better. That looks a whole lot better. Okay. Now we just got to get the rest of his angry face. I'm noticing that the left side of his face is a lot darker. So I might just leave that as a straight up blue. Actually, even the bottom side's a bit darker. They're using an artist technique that they actually use for comics. It's referred to almost like cross-hatching. So what they'll do is they'll leave like one area lightly colored, and then there'll be like little lines going across as it slowly fades into a new color, and then the other side's a completely different color than the one you had on the other side. So his right side is a bit of a lighter blue, but his left side is actually a darker blue. And you look closely in the middle, and there's like these little diamond parts, and that's the actual cross-hatching for where the colors blend together. Only reason I know that is because I am studying to be an animator one day. And I was studying about like comic books and mangas, how they make them, the processes, etc. It's a really fascinating design work. Unfortunately, though, it is very costly. Just looking at the ink that they used to put on the pages, that alone is expensive. Okay, his nostrils actually go upward a tad. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so his eyes sit above there. Dran has angry eyes, so I need to incorporate that in here. Okay, let's get the rest of the shape laid out, and then we'll worry about the coloring afterward. Bit of a black line work here. Yeah, something like that. And then his face builds up like an actual dragon's face, so he has almost like these facial guards around the sides. Yeah, like that. Hey, the rain cleared up. How about that? I know I'm at 45 minutes already. I am sorry. I'm doing the best I can with the time that I have. Yeah, so something like that. And then his face builds up. It just barely overlaps with the line work here because of his horns. Actually, on that side, it goes underneath the line work, so I can just skip that one. And then there's a centerpiece above his head here. Doesn't actually touch that section, but this part does go just a hair above it, it looks like. Wait. No, 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 no. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. That gets spaced out, and then these go outward as well. Yeah, so like that. It goes outward, and then it builds up. Yeah, so like that. But that last one you can't really see because of all the stuff hidden there. And then the rest of this becomes just black. Why does that still look a tad funny to me? Oh! Okay, okay. Yeah, that's why. That's why it looked funny. Yeah, that's better. That's better. That's what I did wrong. I accidentally blended the nostrils in with the background, and it was throwing off the actual picture. Sorry about that. And then he has another tooth going down around there. And there we go. We got the face bolt done. Now I just got to fix that color scheme, because that needs to be... darker on this side. And it looks like it goes all the way over towards the middle section of his face, and then it starts cross-hatching around here. Yeah? Yeah, it does. It does. I just realized I did this in a bad manner. It's not blending correctly, so I need to fix that. Light, light, dark, 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 dark. Okay, did I miss anything? Yes, I did. There's a few more cross-sections in here that blend. Let's see how that looks from a bird's eye view, just to make sure that that does work. That does not work. That does not work at all, because this whole area goes down. He has a bit of a furrow, if I'm using that the correct term there, where his mouth is. That's a bit better. Yeah, that's better. Something's still bothering me here, though. It's the eyes. They're too small. They don't hold the... Okay, now they're too big. They're supposed to be like these angry eyes, but they're not completely angry. They're just like angry for a dragon. Or I guess the word agitated comes to mind. Yeah, they're still too big. Let's try that. Let's see how that looks. I really want to get this as close to accurate as possible. That's a bit better. I mean, it's not fully accurate, but that is a bit better looks-wise. Yeah, that works for me. And then this whole layer now gets covered in a white plastic piece. Everything but the edges here where the prongs line up. Oh yeah, almost forgot. I need to put in some white blocks here because I need to keep that there. Because that's where the BeyBlade logo is. BeyBlade X. There's no way I'm going to fit that lettering on there. I'm fully aware of that. That being said, though, I need to keep that there because it keeps it more fluent in the design work. If I wanted to make this fully accurate, I would have to scale this up much bigger. And that would take way too long to build. Way too long. If I was to give it an accurate estimate based on my building experience on how much it would take, I would have to say approximately 8 times the size, give or take, would be an estimate on how large I honestly would expect it to need to be to get every last detail I need. And that's way too large of a build. No one's going to want to sit here that long and do that. This whole bottom piece right here, this whole design for the circle, that would probably be the size of the driver alone. Like the very tip of it. So if that's the driver, just imagine the ratchet. Just imagine the layer. And there we go. Another step done. We now got the face bolt. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these on here because we are literally out of time for this video. But I at least want to get just a tad bit more done before I go. So what I'm noticing here is that these actually go above. And then it slowly angles down as it gets lower. So is there anything I can use here that signifies that? Stone works. I mean, it still sticks out a little bit. It doesn't blend in perfectly. I'm aware of that. But it just barely overlaps the layer. I'm surprised the face bolt's that big. That is a big face bolt. Oh, what do you know? It actually does seem size accurate given the other parts there. Okay, that's fascinating. Either way, that is a really big piece. So next time, I guess we're going to focus on the rest of the glass in here. And then I'll start up on the blades next time, now that I got that done. The reason why I did this now, there's a very logical reasoning as to why. I realized that I wasn't going to be able to pinpoint where the face bolt is if I built the swords first. Because the swords, they build up in a really odd manner. And it's kind of difficult to determine where the parts go if I do that. So then I thought, you know what? If I build the face bolt first, I can determine where these 3 little prongs are. And that in turn will also help me determine where the blades go in the end. And also help me fix this problem that I had down here with that not lining up. So I'm going to have to come back later. I'll have to fix that. Once I fix that, then I can determine where the blades are. So we'll focus on the glass next time, and then we'll work on the swords afterward. But there we go. We now got the driver done. We have the main framework for the ratchet itself. That's all done. And we have the main face bolt completed. So that is 3 big steps, all done, all out of the way. It's really starting to take shape. It really is. I mean, yeah, it's not all accurate. It's the best I can do with what I have. It's not perfect. It's not flawless. There's going to be parts in here that don't really work the way that I would have wanted. But this still looks pretty accurate. I see that working for me. I was hoping originally that I'd be able to finish it in one video. That was not the case, and now I know 2 videos are not the case. So my estimation for each one of these BeyBlades is roughly 3 to 4 videos, give or take, depending on the Bey itself, how much space there is, time allotted. There's a lot of factors that go into this. But we are now a step closer, and I'm happy knowing that. So I'm going to go ahead and end this right here, and we'll pick this up again in the next video, roughly 2 weeks from now. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, then give it a like. If you want to see more, I did this out of order. Shame on me. If you like the video, then give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Do not judge me. I am tired. I am tired. I really am. It's been a long day. Wow, I still got sleepiness underneath my eyes. It's fascinating. Anyways. Like always, this is Menace Snodecker, signing off. And I will see you next time. So, bye-bye. Have a great day, everybody. Don't forget to smile, because remember, a smile a day goes a long way. And I hope to see you all back here again soon. Hey, one more thing before you go. Can you please check out the links in the description and join the Discord server as well? And while you're at it, can you please put in some more names in the comments of more Beys you want to see me make in the future so I can actually decide what on to do? I don't care if it's BeyBlade X, I don't care if it's BeyBlade Burst, I don't care if it's Turbo, Surge, I don't care if it's Metal Fusion, I don't care. I'll get to it someday. I will build it. I'm just spacing it out because I got a lot of stuff going on right now, and I don't want to overwork myself, but I will make time every 2 weeks or so to get a little bit done in this world and just keep building Beys one at a time. So once I'm done with Sword Dran, I already have a vote in for Tyranno Beats, so I'll start that one next. And if any of you have any other things you want to see me build in here, because there's a lot of space in this flat world, and there's a lot of Beys out there, just saying. If you got one you want to see me build and finish eventually, one at a time, let me know. I'll see what I can do, see what I can find. So anyways, bye! Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And you smile, dagnabbit. You smile, or I'm gonna come over there and make you smile myself.